Hey, all you Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake podcast comic book fans here. We're back with another installment in our Knightquest the Crusade reviews. And this is Batman Shadow of the Bat, number 25. It's the anniversary issue. It's the fourth monthly Bat title at this time. And for it to have lasted almost 2 years, 25 issues, actually a little more than 2 years, pretty awesome. And as you can see, it's like got a silver kind of cover. Now this issue is kind of well, I don't know, what can I say, it's kind of misconceptions, because when I picked this up I couldn't really remember the book, and as I kind of flipped through it I was kind of looking at the art and I was like, this doesn't really look like my kind of art style. It looks a little sloppy. I'm not really too into it. And then when I saw this hero Joe Public, he kind of looked ridiculous to me, and I just was not feeling this book. I didn't think so. And you know, the big thing about this book is that Azrael Asbats gets a new Batman suit in it, which it's supposed to be the big reveal here at the end. I'll show you. There's a 2-page like poster at the end of this to reveal the suit, but it's right there on the cover. So what's the big reveal? And cover is awesome. I like this cover painting, but the thing is, I wasn't too blown away by the suit. Like, I was like, what? I remember looking at it thinking like, what's the difference? I don't notice it. Oh, look, there's like a bat symbol, or the cape looks a little different or something. And then later on they put like a gun on his arm and stuff. And so the big like, oh my gosh, it's a new suit that they were going for just was kind of lost on me. But as I read this book last night, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And the art, which I at first thought was like too sloppy and not my style, fits just perfectly and beautifully for the story. So what I thought it would be was totally not. Now, here's the first page. Alan Grant writer, Brett Blevins and John Beatty do the art. No more Norm Braygle-free. I think Norm had moved from DC at this point, was cashing in on some of that independent comics that were popular at the time. And gosh, 1994, look at Shaquille O'Neal. Wow, what a difference. But anyway, starts off with an Alan Grant villain, the Corrosive Man, because Alan Grant always used his own villains, and they always say that he did that because he didn't know like Batman lore, but I don't buy that. I think he was doing it because he wanted to cash in, because you get more money when you use your guys and they're used in other things than if you use someone else's. But anyway, we got the Corrosive Man here, and he's been in this like alkali bath, and the narration all comes from the Corrosive Man's point of view. Excuse me. And it says he's been experimenting so that he can escape. And then this I just love. Even though I thought it was sloppy, it's just amazing artwork of Alan Grant's writing. He describes like the pain that the Corrosive Man is in, and every second it's pain, and how it's like his skin is searing, and I mean, he just goes into such great detail, and it fits so perfectly with the artwork that I loved it. And it's just something, you know, just such a great writer. I don't think I would have thought about how painful it would be to be the Corrosive Man, and he just details it so well. And then we see Joe Public, and at first, you know, he's from that whole Bloodlines annual thing. And those guys, they just kind of disappeared. And Joe Public basically just disappears. He's in Justice League Task Force for a little bit. And then he's mentioned by the Huntress at one point. And then he's just no more of. But he is also Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle's creation. And, you know, at first I'm thinking, oh, he looks ridiculous. But then later on, Batman even says he looks ridiculous. And I think it was intentional. It was designed for him to look like a gym teacher who put on some Village People meets Captain America meets motorcycle something or other whip guy. So he's out there patrolling the streets, and we learn that his power is he can absorb the energy or the power or the strength of other people. And here's Batman's vision. Batman sees him. And once again, Batman's out on the street. No rocket car. That rocket car has just disappeared. It's raining pretty much this whole issue. This whole issue pretty much takes place just in one night, which is kind of cool. And Joe Public thinks he's done great, but he missed one, who Batman gets. And then he realizes that who he was saving, Batman says, is actually a bad guy also who was running drugs for another gang. And Joe Public realizes he's got a lot to learn. And then on the radio comes the fact that the Corrosive Man is out there to get them. And cool Batman artwork. Really like that. So they're both off. And Batman kind of runs into the Corrosive Man. Again, more great writing about how painful it is for the Corrosive Man. Batman confronts the Corrosive Man. And the Corrosive Man just kind of kicks Batman's butt here. Just melting his suit. Just giving Batman a beatdown. And so Joe Public shows up and helps him out. And Joe Public is like, hey, don't you remember fighting this guy? And of course, Asbats doesn't. Because that was Bruce Wayne. And Joe Public is thinking, what is going on? And then Batman just disappears. Like, that's cool. So here's why I like John Paul Valley. I mean, a lot of people always like, I don't know, why I couldn't always take him as a villain. Because in this issue, he's very heroic. When he realizes that the Corrosive Man is heading towards a hospital and he's going to kill everybody just to get revenge on one patient, you know, Batman's first instinct is to save everybody. Doesn't want people to die. Isn't like, oh, I'm going to get this guy just because he beat me. It's to save lives. So, you know, to me, Jean Paul was always a hero. That's why when he turns and goes bad, and I just don't get it. But we can blame the system. So then we got a few pages of fighting. Here it was just kind of turned into like a WWE fighting with Joe Public getting beat a little bit and Batman kind of saving him. And then Batman convinces Joe Public to use his powers to absorb the Corrosive Man's corrosiveness, I guess, and so then he's Naked Man. Hey, look at that, Naked Man. And Joe Public is feeling the pain that the Corrosive Man goes through. Just long enough for Batman to knock out Naked Man and cover him up in sand so that it'll fuse to him and Star Labs can come get him. And Batman kind of tells Joe Public, you should quit. And then the system kicks in. This is, I think, it's kind of funny because Jean Paul says, you know, he starts working on a new suit. There he is. You have some hammers and, what is that? I don't even know what these things are. To make the bat suit here. But anyway, puts it together, and then he kind of says, like, I don't know how Wayne had 2 lives, because I've worked all night, and, you know, no sleep tonight. How does he do it? But Jean Paul's not living 2 lives. He's just Batman. Like, he doesn't have another, like, alias. He doesn't, just let the house go. It's, you know, a mess. But anyway, then we get the big reveal. We've got a new and improved Batman, better than ever, ready to take on. The cape is now made of, like, razors, and it's acid-proof, and we will see now more of Asbats in this new suit. So, rah, rah, rah. And then next month, Clayface. So, hopefully you like this issue. I really liked it. Wasn't what I thought it would be. Turned out to be much better. Really enjoyed it. Really great issue. Hopefully you liked it. Let me know in the comments. All right. If you like this, give it a like. Subscribe. If you didn't like it, give it a like, subscribe. But anyway, that is Shadow of the Bat, number 25. And we will see you next time on our coverage of Knightquest the Crusade. Later.